Alright you guys, so the very first feature that I absolutely love is the voiceover, which you can find right above the timeline, and it's amazing for podcasting, narrating, creating commentary, and what have you. So if we simply click on it, it is going to reveal a small menu where if you click on that record icon, it's going to start recording your audio right away. But there are a few things that I want to talk about here. One is that you can create a file name. So I'm just going to quickly write something down here. And then you also want to make sure that your audio input is chosen to the right device. So in my case, the mic that's plugged into my laptop is the USB PNP audio device. And then you also want to make sure that you look at your record track here. By default, it's going to create a new audio track for you. However, you have the ability to choose an existing audio track. So in my case, it's going to be audio 1 here, but I'm going to leave it at the default for the time being. Now let's go ahead and click on the 3 dots up top. This is now going to reveal another group of settings, and by default you can see that enable 3 seconds countdown is activated. This personally is something I really like because it gives me time to get ready. And then there's another one here called mute timeline audio while recording. This is also something I really like because especially you have existing audio over the track that you're recording audio for. This really helps to avoid all that noise seeping into your mic. Alright guys, so simply click on the record icon here. Now you will see that the countdown will begin, and once it's done, it's going to automatically start. And then if you hit the space bar, this is now going to stop the recording, and then you will see there in the timeline everything that you just recorded. And one last thing to note here is that once you finish recording, this is also going to be automatically recorded as an audio file in the media pool. Alright, so the second feature that I absolutely love, and that's been frankly long overdue, is the text wrapping. So what we're going to do here is to bring the text plus to here and place it on top of the video. And then in the text box, I'm just going to start write more words here. But I want you to see that as the words reach the end of this text box, it's going to automatically create a new line here, and this is not something that exists before in the previous version. However, you might be asking yourself at this point, how come it's not showing on the screen? So what we want to do is to come up here and go to layout, and then for type, let's change it to text box. Now you're going to see 2 options here. We're going to make sure that we select wrap to text box. So now you can see that all these words are going to be wrapped within the text box. But where is this text box? So in order to see this text box, what you want to do is to go to the left corner here under the video, click on this drop down menu, and then make sure that we select Fusion Overlay. So now you will see this text box with a green border show up on the screen, and you can click on it and adjust its size, and you will see that all these texts will adjust based on the size of the text box, but it will always make sure that it's wrapped to the text box, which is absolutely fantastic. Now there's another setting here that you can play with. It's called clip to text box. So now what this will do is to make sure that any texts that are outside the border of the text box will get clipped. And depending on the size of this text box, as you can see that it can either reveal more texts or it can potentially remove more text. And it just all comes down to how big you want a text box to be. And the good thing is that this also works in the Fusion page as well. So let's go ahead and bring a Fusion composition clip, take it to the Fusion page, and bring a text note here. We're gonna go ahead and just write a bunch of words in the text box. First things first, you will notice that it will automatically create a new line once it reaches the end of the text box, but it still doesn't show on the screen. So we're gonna just once again come to the layout tab here and then make sure that for type, we're going to choose text box. But you will notice that first of all, wrap to text is automatically selected by default. And also you are going to see by default the text box on the screen. Now, all you need to do is to just adjust the size of the text box if that's not your desirable size. But it works very similarly, kind of like how you saw on the edit page. Now the third feature here, which is a major update in DaVinci Resolve 20, is the new enhanced keyframe editor. So what we're going to do right now is to go ahead and set up a couple keyframes using the zoom setting here for this clip. And once that is done, the first thing we're going to do is to click on this keyframe tray here, which is also part of this new keyframe editor update. And you can see that it's going to tell you the settings where you have keyframes for and where the keyframes are. And then you can also also use by clicking on these keyframes to adjust their position. And when you set up new keyframes, it's also going to automatically show up. So it's just a very good way to allow you to have a bird's eye view of all the keyframes, where they are, and keep track of them. Now, going back to this effect, you will see that this zoom is very linear and flat right now. So in order to change that, what we want to do is to come up top and click on keyframes. So this is going to reveal this new keyframe editor. Now, at first glance, you're going to think to yourself that it looks kind of like the keyframe tray that we saw. Well, in many ways, they are kind of similar. For example, you can click on the keyframes and adjust its position very easily. But you are also seeing a lot of settings on the left-hand panel there under parameters. So one thing you can do here is to click on the three dots there, and then in the menu, select display parameters with keyframes. So now this is going to only filter down to the parameters, the settings that you set keyframes for. But for this example, I'm just going to change it back to the default. Okay, so now in order to change the ease in, ease out, what we want to do is to first of all make sure that the curve icon next to each setting is selected. And now let's go ahead and select this curve editor symbol here. This is going to take us directly to the curve editor. And first of all, you have a lot of flexibility with zooming and zoom out. And you also have preset zooming as well. Now, what we want to do at this point is to go ahead and select these two keyframes. And then all we need to do is to click on this ease in and ease out symbol here. This is now going to not only set an ease in and ease out for us, it's also going to give us these handles, which are absolutely fantastic. So if we look at this effect, you will see that it does have this ease in, ease out, amazing. But because of these handles that it's given us, we have so much flexibility to create our own ease in, ease out. So what I'm going to do right now is to hold on the shift key and then just drag this handle out, all the way out. And I'm going to do the same for the other keyframe here too. So now if we have a look at this effect, you will see that it is way more dramatic, and that is exactly what I want. So this really resembles the spline editor that we have on the Fusion page, and it's just amazing to have this on the edit page. But the fun does not stop here. You can also do the same thing to transitions. So what we're gonna do right now is to bring in a edge wipe transition and place it in between these two clips. And you will see that by default, yeah, it's a pretty linear wipe, nothing crazy, but the transition curve itself, as you can see, is keyframed by default. So what we're gonna do is to click on this keyframe editor here, and then you're gonna see that right away, this transition showed up with the transition selected. And if we take it to the curve editor here, I'm just going to quickly change the ease in and ease out for these two keyframes. However, when we look at this transition right now, it seems like the edge wipe is still fairly linear, and the changes that we just made were not really incorporated. So the reason is because that for these transition settings under ease, we need to change it to custom. So once we do that, you will now see that the changes were incorporated to edge wipe and is no longer linear, and this is what we're hoping for here. So this new keyframe editor doesn't apply just to videos, it applies to transition as well. And what's even better is that this also applies to Fusion effects too. So if we were to go to Open FX and bring a zoom blur here and just drop it on top of this clip, now you will see that right now it's just a zoom blur, nothing crazy. But if we were to, let's say, set up keyframes for the zoom amount setting here, now once it's done, what we're gonna do is just to bring up the keyframe editor. Well, it's kind of strange that at first you don't seem to see this setting show up at all. So what you want to do at this point is to select these three dots here, and in the menu, let's go to display selected parameters. You will see now zoom blur show up. So let's go there and make sure that zoom amount setting is selected. So now you will see it show up under parameters, and let's just make sure that the curve icon is selected, and then we're going to deselect the curve icons for the one that we don't want to adjust. Now let's take it to the curve editor here, select these two keyframes, adjust the interpolations of the keyframes. Now you will see that this change is going to apply to this Fusion effect. So yeah, this new keyframe editor is extremely helpful, and it also applies to adjustment clips as well. So definitely something that you guys want to experiment with, and I think you're gonna fall in love with it just like me. All right, you guys, so this is it for this video, and I will see you next time.